All right, what is going on, good people? We are back at it once again. Flog Nation Speaks, your favorite podcast for the best team in NFL history, if you're a Ravens fan, of course. But today, it's going to be a quick one, simply because I was watching the round table, Sip the Tally to do a round table every single week, him and Lunch Break Hot Take, Hendo, Chris Just Joking, and uh open mic with OTR Mike. They all do a show each week, and I always tend to watch it because I like their opinions. I like what they talk about. I feel like they present the real over there. I've had Hendo on the show before, so you know I feel like they always they keep it real with you. And one of the questions that was asked on that show, it just made me think. I was just sitting there, man. I'm like, that's a good question. All right, that's a good question because I think we've all thought about it, and especially with this running narrative that Lamar Jackson might get traded, right? As crazy as it sounds, as wild as it may be, and as ridiculous, I think, at least to me, that it may seem, right? Like I can't figure out why this would even be a thing, right? I still like I can't even get myself to believe that's even an option, right? I can't get myself to believe that trading Lamar Jackson is not only an option but on the table, and also something that the Ravens would actually do. The guy that saved multiple people's jobs, made EDC look like a decent GM, right? He's made some good moves on defense, right? But offensively, it's been a little suspect. And Lamar Jackson has made this team better. Lamar Jackson made this team a contender from 2018 on, from the time and before we even knew it, the Ravens were contenders, right? They were contenders in 2018, and we didn't even know it yet, right? We didn't know what 2019 was going to bring with a lesser staff, right? With it's crazy to me, man. And I just wanted to react to this real quick because I just thought it was a good question. Coach Evans, he asked this question, and I thought, that's actually a good question. What do I think about this? Because my knee jerk reaction is one thing, but is there really a logical aspect to this that might actually work for the Ravens? Let's see.
Facts.
What trade package is enough to say, okay, let's trade, we can trade Lamar?
So, what trade package is enough to say, okay, let's trade Lamar? My first answer, knee jerk reaction, the fan in me says there is none, right? What is the proper trade for Lamar Jackson to make the Ravens better? There is none. Like, let's just be honest about this. There is none. You're literally a wide receiver away, probably, and you could probably win the Super Bowl next year. Because look at the ascent that the Eagles have made because of adding a weapon or two. Look at the ascent that the Bills made after 2019 when they added a receiver or two. So you have Bateman, who's a really good receiver. Just got to stay healthy, right? You add another receiver to that, whether it be a veteran or a highly touted, you know what you're going to get rookie, not a guy in the fourth round that you think you know what you might know, that you could see what you might get. Like, no. You gotta go for the sure thing in this regard, right? And right now, going back to it, Lamar Jackson is the sure thing, right? I would take no trade for Lamar Jackson, right? Give Lamar Jackson whatever he wants, because at the end of the day, it's not like you're paying offensive talent anyway. You've let Orlando Brown walk. You've let Hollywood walk. Why? Explain to me, why would you ever, right? Why in the history of anything would you ever trade Lamar Jackson? Why? What would be your reasoning behind trading Lamar Jackson? There's not a good one, right? There's not a good one unless you just don't want to pay the money because you want to be who the Ravens have been over the past 25 years, right? You want to be who the Ravens have been over their entire existence. We don't pay offensive players. We definitely don't pay quarterbacks. We don't pay receivers. We'll pay a running back, maybe, right? Rarely ever did the Ravens even extend offensive players, right? It's been a long time since I think they've extended one wide receiver in their entire history. They've extended one quarterback in their entire history. That's an issue, right? That's an issue. So my first answer to what is the best trade scenario for Lamar Jackson for the Ravens to be what they want to be, there is none. It's sign Lamar Jackson and get a freaking receiver. What you should have done 3 years ago, 2 years ago. You should have did after 2019. What you should have added on when you had Hollywood Brown. That's what should have happened. Now, let's talk about it. If you have to trade him because he's not going to sign, because he feels underappreciated. He feels like he's been disrespected. What would you say? Now, in that occasion, I would have to get a couple of first round picks, like 3 or 4. So maybe a few, right? I'd have to get some first round picks, probably some second round picks, maybe not 4 first round picks, but I'd say 2 first round picks, maybe 2 seconds, right? But for me, in my opinion, forget the picks, right? I want somebody who can step in right now. I want somebody who's gonna step in day one and still gonna be able to compete. The hard part about it is look at the talent you got around you, right? Are the Ravens gonna make the right moves, even if they were to trade Lamar Jackson, because we can't give him fully guaranteed money because that's putting too much into him. We can't surround him with talent, even though we didn't surround him with talent during his rookie deal. Why don't we trade Lamar Jackson, get a bunch of draft picks, and let's spin the wheel of draft picks once again and hope that we fall into Lamar Jackson? I just don't understand why would you ever trade a sure thing, a league MVP, a guy who's led the league in touchdown passes, which a lot of these prototypical quarterbacks can't even say? Why would you trade your sure thing franchise QB for a chance at somebody who might be a franchise QB 5 years down the road, if you're lucky, when you got it right there? You got it right there, and then you build on top of it. Because that's what the Eagles did. Let's be honest. The Eagles didn't even believe in Jalen Hurts. And then they said, let's give him the best weapons to work with. And then we'll see what Jalen Hurts can do. Because Jalen Hurts can't go out there and throw to himself. Josh Allen. The Bills had plenty of reason to not believe in Josh Allen. But they said, you know what? We're going to go get Stephon Diggs because we know that's going to make life easier for our guy. That's going to make life easier for him because now, you know what? Now he got some easy throws. He got some gimmies, right? And he going to miss a couple because that's what quarterbacks do. They're not perfect, but that's okay. And they paid him early, right? Let's not forget. Even the Cardinals have said, you know what? DeAndre Hopkins, you want him? You got him. AJ Green, you want him? You got him. Zach Ertz, you want him? You got him. James Conner to help out the run game a little bit. You want him? You got him. Right? Because that's the thing, right? The biggest issue that I have with the Ravens trading Lamar Jackson is trading or releasing whatever, like Lamar Jackson not being on this team is number one, he's the heartbeat of the team. He's the heartbeat of the offense. And offense is what wins you games and wins you championships in this league right now. And number two, he's the most valuable player to your team every year. You are top of the AFC, at least top 3 when Lamar Jackson is in there. But then when he's not, it's odd, right? It's odd that we see things just don't go as smoothly as they did with Lamar Jackson in the game. Receivers can't get separation. Receivers don't have that little extra time that Lamar creates to get separation, right? Doesn't help that, the offensive system they were in either. But that's what happens, right? That's what happens. So I think ideally there is no trade for Lamar Jackson. You get the deal done. But if you must trade him, you have to get somebody who can come in and start now. You got to get a Justin Fields, right? You got to get one of those guys, a Justin Fields, somebody that people would actually be willing to trade. You can't get a Zach Wilson and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna make Zach Wilson into, like, you can't do that, right? Because Joe had some of his best years when he had talent around him, right? When he had Steve Smith and he had Anquan Bolden, right? And he had Torrey Smith. You know, that's when Joe Flacco had some of his best years, when he had talent around him too. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. We don't even know what Lamar Jackson's ceiling is yet, and he won an MVP. As crazy as that sounds, but as always, what would be your trade partner for Lamar Jackson if you were to trade him, or is there no trade worth trading Lamar Jackson? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. You can always listen to Fly Nation Speaks on all of your favorite audio and video platforms. You can always listen or watch Fly Nation Speaks. But as always, definitely hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to check out Sip to Tally too for their roundtable and see what you think about not only the show but the topics of conversation that they come up with over there. But as always, definitely hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys on the next one. Until